YouTube painters be like, what's up guys, I just finished spraying this car. This is no cut, no buff. Straight off the gun. If you can't paint a car without cut and buff, then you shouldn't even be painting at all, man. I literally, when I paint cars, I get zero trash in the paint. No, but in all seriousness, you know that old saying, it goes, a grinder in paint makes you the welder you ain't? Well, my saying goes, a buffer in McGuire's makes you the painter that your boss requires. I cut it with 600, 1500 grit, 2000, and then 3000. It's looking really, really good. It's pretty straight. I mean, for me knocking this thing out just in a couple weeks, I think it looks pretty good. It's got some waves here and there, but for the most part, she's pretty fancy. On this video, we are going to work on the front end. We're gonna start putting this thing back together, and we're gonna work from the front and back. So I'm gonna start with the front clip. We're gonna do the headlight bezels, the grille, the bumper, these pieces, and I have some plans because I think that these bezels right here, they kind of look ugly. Every Mopar, every 70s era classic Mopar, even 60s, always had like a recessed grille. And in 71, 72, they made the giant grille bumper combo. Then they went back with a bumper. And for some reason, they made like this transition piece where you have like the recessed Mopar grille and then these bezels. So I think to kind of blend it in, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint it blue, like the same color as the car. And then the center piece, we're gonna paint black. If that makes sense. So it'll kind of look like the bezel's part of the fender, and then it'll be a black stripe all the way down the middle. But I have a really nice bumper. We're gonna work on shining that up. I already started with some steel wool, and then we have a grill. We're gonna paint that black. The only thing I've done off camera is obviously the cut and buff, and I reinstalled this trim piece. I actually picked this up from a junkyard, and it was in pretty good condition, no dings or anything. There's some scuffs on it, but this car is going to be a driver, it's not a show car, so scuffs don't really bother me. But I hit it with some steel wool, shined it up a little bit, got it clipped on there. Looks pretty damn good. I chipped the paint right there. Literally the first piece of chroma I put on the car, I chipped the paint. But I just dabbed some paint on there. I need to dab some more on there. It's still kind of showing through a little bit. First thing I'm gonna do is put the bumper on. I didn't take this car apart, so I don't readily know exactly how it goes back together. If I can find my jack stand. There it is. And I haven't shined this yet. My plan is to put it on the car, and we'll shine it up before we install the other stuff, just to get it on and out of the way. I'm sure this is going to be a scratch fest. Looks like we got the bolts. I don't know. Let's put it on, see what happens. All right, so I ended up having to take the bumper off because it wasn't lining up properly, which is what I should have did in the first place. These are separate bumper brackets. There's 2 bolts here, 2 bolts there, and then they bolt on separately, and then you can adjust them when you get the bumper on. Of course, these carriage bolts, as soon as I hit them with my impact, they're just spinning in the hole. So I'm gonna have to cut them off. Hopefully I can take it off the other bumper, but it's just 2 bolts. It's this one and the other one. So I took my trusty Hobart welder and I just welded a piece of pipe on the end of that carriage bolt, and it's good to go. Came right out. I'm gonna go ahead and weld a pipe to the other side, and then we're gonna have to go over there and see if those other bolts off of the bent bumper will come out. Got it all split into pieces. Got our passenger side, driver side. We got our bumper support, and we got our bumper. This bumper, I thought it was a lot nicer. Some dents in it. There was a dent right here, and I whacked it out with my hammer. It was a pretty big dent. Looks pretty good now. There were some dings over here, but overall looks pretty good. I don't know if I'm gonna put those bumper guards on there. I'll have to just put it up there and see how it looks. I should probably paint those bumper supports, but I'm not going to. So here's the bumper that came off of the car. You can see it got hit pretty good. It's all mangled up. But oddly enough, one little rip with the impact, and the bolts on this bumper, I mean, they just came right out. Weird. This thing's been sitting outside in the grass for months too. So now that we got our bolts, going to the shop, put that bumper back on. It's looking really good. So I'm kind of debating on these bumper guards, on or off. I really don't like them. Kind of looks like an old cop car, but I think for now I'm gonna leave them off. I need to find a carriage bolt to fit these holes right here, and hopefully this kind of polishes out because you can see the outline. Let's go see what we got laying around. These will probably fit. Please don't spin. Yes, didn't spin. Sweet. All right. That's gonna be perfect. So I don't know if you guys can tell from the video, but I'm having a hell of a time getting this bumper lined up. Got it good this way, that way. Whenever I put the headlight bezels on, it's having the issue. See how it's hitting the bumper? We got this giant lip. So the brackets, there's 2 bolts on each frame, and this bumper may have been off of a 73, and the hole where they line up may be a little bit different. I had to drill them out to get it to fit decent enough, but now the bumper's kind of cocked upward a little bit, so I can't fit the headlight bezels on. So what I did was I removed the front bolt, and I can hit the bumper down. I'll get these where I want them, get the bumper exactly right and level, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to the rear bolt in, tighten it, in the front right here I'm going to leave the front bolt out, and I'm going to weld. So basically I'm just going to weld the bumper brackets onto the car. it's never gonna come off. You know, if it has to come off, I can just take the bumper off from the bracket. I'm gonna go ahead and line this up, and then I'll weld each side. It's just kind of sitting there, not bolted in, but now I'm conflicted. I think I may change my plan up here, because originally I'd planned on blacking all this out and then painting blue around the bezels. But it kind of, usually when I see these cars on Google and online, the middle grill is black. This grill is from a satellite, so it's gray. Kind of flows good. I'm gonna have to take a break, look at some pictures and think about it, because that looks really good. Has a really good, like, classy feel to it. Got it pretty straight, and I welded it right there and right there. It's not a good weld, but it'll hold. It's a little crooked, but you're really not gonna be able to tell. So this is what I've come up with. I need to order those little clips. It's Saturday. Hopefully I can find some clips in stock at like O'Reilly or something. If not, I'll order them online, and they'll probably be here in a day or two. But these headlight bezels, I looked on Google and all the blue cars look really slick with this year model. Blue cars look really slick. Yellow cars, orange cars. All the other colors, they look kind of funky with these bezels and the grill. But gray bezels, gray grill looks good. Or you have to do black bezels and black grill, or just color match the bezels and color match the grill. The only thing that I see that looks kind of funky is, like, when it's on the car, the fact that the grill is recessed, and then this is like there's chrome on the outside, like touching the fender. It's like a wannabe, like, mini Super Bee or something. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave the grill gray, leave the bezel chrome, and I'm just gonna paint just this section right here, all the way around to right here. That's it, just here to here. That way it looks like part of the car, and then this center section from here down looks like part of the grill all the way. It'll kind of give the illusion that this is part of the fender. So just from here to here, if that makes sense. I think it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and I'll start working these out. Some frog tape. They didn't have any automotive masking tape. Stone gray satin paint. I'll show you what we're gonna do with this here in a second. It may sound crazy, but I think it's gonna work. I couldn't find those clips. Picked up these little clips right here. Honestly, this will last longer anyway. All right, let's throw it all together. So this was already done before I got it, but this plastic piece was broken off, and then when I went to screw this one on, it snapped off. Put some super glue on there, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just plastic weld it. I have a soldering iron, and I got some zip ties, and I'll just melt around the sides. It should be good. You can buy actual plastic welders, but this is just a soldering iron and a zip tie. Works exactly the same. Done it a million times. What I like to do is put a couple indentions in there, melt it together, and then where I'm put the indentions, I fill it in with some zip tie. There we go. She'll be good for another 50 years. I have all this lined up somewhat decent. The clips on the very top did end up not working because they were too short, but I ordered some of those plastic clips online, and then that'll kind of give our grill, push our grill in a little bit. End up having to tweak this header panel. It's still low right here. Need to bring that up a little bit. So here's what I'm about to do. Take some steel wool. I'm gonna clean this bezel up, and then I'm gonna get my tape line right here where it follows the line of the car, and that's where we'll do our blue. Basically like as if the fender or the header and the fender went down this far, and then it'll come around down here, and then we'll just do straight down. I got the horns mounted too. There was one here and one there, and it bolts from the top. I like it though. I like this grill being gray. Like I said, I was gonna paint it black, but it kind of looks good like that. All right, I'm gonna stop flapping my gums, start masking. So I did the hood inserts like a grayish silver, kind of try to match the grill a little bit. I think it really sets it off. It complements well. And then I painted the insert for the grill blue. It's the same color as the car. The exact same paint. I used the same paint. And then I painted the bezels. Got the bezels painted. I got a fly in the paint right there, or a gnat. Tape pulled off clean. A little crooked right here, but overall 5 feet away looked pretty good. Right here the paint came loose, or the tape came loose, and I got some overspray on it, but I can fix that with a razor blade. No problem at all. Matter of fact, I'll fix it before it dries. So there it is with the blue inserts put in. Looks really freaking good. I mean, it just pops. Honestly, I think that anybody that owns one of these cars, the first thing they should do is paint the top and the outside edge to make it all flow together, make the grill flow together. And then the second thing they should do is paint the hood inserts a different color from the car. It just makes the whole front end kind of flow together better, and then it makes that hood just pop. It's such an aggressive hood, and you know, if I painted it the same color as the car, it would kind of blend in and take away from that whole look. But we're almost done with this video. I am going to take some steel wool. It's just an SOS pad with soap in it. This right here. Take a squirt bottle, water bottle. I'm gonna scrub the grill down. I'm gonna scrub the bezels down, and I'm gonna scrub the headlights down. And I got a little bit of overspray that I need to clean up. That's looking amazing now. Bumper shined up really good. Right where the where those bumper guards were, you can see a line. It's not too bad though. Could probably clean it up a little bit better. And the bezels are looking good. I'm gonna have to clean these headlights with some lacquer thinner. I don't even know if these headlights are good yet. I just threw them in there. I'd say the front end is pretty much good enough for a daily. And I don't know if I should paint this grille because it's just original plastic gray and there's some cracks. I may end up pulling it off and painting it the same color as these inserts. But that'll be the end of this video for now. On the next video, we will be repainting the door because I was trying to make it a little straighter on this area, and you can see right here we got shiny enamel metallic paint. So that's great. All right guys, I'll check you on the next one.